Live rookie draft. Welcome back to the Birdhouse Dynasty Show and our real live rookie draft of the Birdhouse Bestball number 2 league that we started last off season. We had so much success with the original Birdhouse League that we threw together another last off season, and it was a lot of fun. All listeners here in the Birdhouse, we love to have you here. And we are in the first round of this draft, nearing the end of the first. We just had RJ Harvey go off the board, traded up by Steve S. Let's get right to it. He picked him at the 111. Here we go. Boom. All right. So, as I said, Steve S. traded up for RJ Harvey, the last of the big six running backs, so to speak, here. Caleb Johnson went at the 110, and Steve needed running backs, so he jumped at the opportunity to move up from the 201, giving up a third rounder to jump 2 spots and grab RJ Harvey ahead of Chupas here, and maybe so that Let's Go Brandon did not grab him either. And so Steve S. got his guy. He grabbed Jackson Dart earlier tonight at the 108 pick and helped his quarterback stable out. Now you can see how the order went for the first round here. We still have the 112 again to go, but going back to the beginning of the first round here, we had myself take Ashton Genty at the 101. This was a pick that I had acquired back in February by trading Saquon Barkley for the 101 as well as a third rounder. So I got my money's worth for Saquon. Saquon I had acquired for the stretch run last November, right around Thanksgiving. I gave up, I had acquired Foss Boss's first and second rounders in the startup last year for the 2026 season. So I had his 2026 first and second rounders. And as you can see, Foss Boss finished in last place here this year. Now, don't know that he'll be that bad again this coming year, but I gave up a pretty decent pick there, I think, with the first rounder and the second rounder on top of it. But I did not want to get outbid by anybody else who also was going after Saquon for the stretch run. But as you can see, as a last there, I finished right there in fourth place, so it didn't pan out for me. But you win some, you lose some, right? So I figured I'd have Saquon going into next season, fine and dandy, no problem. Well, opportunity came that the 101 was available, and so I jumped on it and scooped it up. Now we get to the pick today, and it was very interesting here with the 101. I don't know if you've had the opportunity out there to trade the 101 or been involved in talks with the 101 pick yet this draft season. Let me remind you guys, if you like what you're hearing here on the Birdhouse, we're trying to give you as best of draft advice that we can. I'm showing you live drafts. I'm telling you my literal strategy right here, full frontal, in the Birdhouse, after dark. We are getting nasty here. So please smash that like and subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the Patreon. I've got my Dynasty rookie rankings right on there. I've got my rankings for regular Dynasty on there. Just go ahead. It's only $3 a month, and there's other stuff on there if you want to check it out for free. But if you want the down and dirty, it's going to be a whole 300 pennies a month. Yeah, real tin money. Yeah. All right. Anyway, back to the 101 now. This morning, draft was starting at noon. This is obviously a slow draft, otherwise we'd be through a couple picks already. But that's okay. Now I got time to analyze the first round for you, right? So this morning, I we started the draft at noon, and I threw the 101 out on the block right before the draft was about to start. And so I wanted I wanted to see what I could possibly get for it. And a couple of people inquired, one of which was Trav there, the Trav Bieski, the champ from last year, and I battled him all season for the 1 seed last year. And so Trav's got a solid team. So I wasn't all that excited about giving Trav Bieski, the champ, the top player in the rookie draft just to begin with, but he was the one that offered, and started with DeAndre Swift and Addison. That's what he put down in the message, and I was like, I think I need more. And as I was typing that, he added his 27 first. So then we had Swift, Addison, and a 27 first, which, it's nice, but not for Ash and Genty, right? I mean, you can throw it in a calculator, do whatever you want, but if I'm going to trade the 101, this projected generational talent and somebody who could supplant Bijan or Gibbs as the number one dynasty running back, which is possible maybe before the season starts that he moves up into that spot. But point being, I want something with a little juice, right? DeAndre Swift isn't getting any juice. I mean, hell, they might trade for Breece Hall before the season starts, and then Swift is like trash. So Addison's fine, 27 first, fine, whatever. But that's not, I mean, if I'm trading Genty, I want to pick in this draft at least, okay? I don't want your future pick 2 years down the road from the current champion, okay? I want the 1, 10, 11, or 12 and 27. So, I was like, I got to get a little more spice here. And so then he's like, well, how about Jonathan Taylor? So I was like, okay, JT, Addison. And he's like, he started with just JT and Addison, and I just flat out told him, I'm like, there's no way I'm doing this unless you throw in your 27 first, possibly. So he said, all right, 27 first goes in, but you got to give me your 210, which I was fine with. I mean, the 210, yeah, it's best ball, and so the 210, yes, there's somebody decent that's going to be there. But at the same time, I just started thinking about it, and Jonathan Taylor, he was awesome for me in one of my leagues last season. He helped me win the league in the last couple of weeks of the season. So he was really good down the stretch, no doubt. But I don't know. I mean, his ankles aren't great. I don't love the Colts offense. It's just, now, when you break it down, I mean, Jonathan Taylor, Addison, and a 27 first are all three good pieces, and it's best ball. So I really, really considered. I even asked around a little for that one. But at the same time, I was just like, I got Derrick Henry, I've got Tony Pollard, Chase Brown. Like, in 1 year or two, I could be left holding the bag here at running back, and because Chase Brown has no guarantees going forward. You look at, he survived the draft this year, but does that mean he survives the draft next year? Does that mean if he gets banged up, they don't trade for someone? I don't know what Cincinnati's doing there, but yeah, it's looking good for Chase Brown right now. But again, Henry and Pollard, they're on their last legs, okay? I mean, Henry might play till he's 40, but that's whatever. And so anyway, my point being is, after about an hour of indecisiveness, I just went ahead and smashed Genty because I only had the 101 in a couple leagues, and I was it's the top guy. So that's what ended up happening there. And then it gets to the 102, and Trav Bieski tries to trade up for Cam Ward, and he gives up Jonathan Taylor and Lad McConkey this time for the 102. It was a 26 first that he got back and some later pick. So, I mean, now that 26 first has the potential to be like a top 5 pick. So, like, I mean, it was a second rounder. It was just like a 26 first and then a 27 second, I believe. So, I mean, you look at Ladd, and you could match Ladd up with the 102, but then Jonathan Taylor for a first and second. I mean, I guess, right? It's they're future picks. So I don't know. I don't want to pay a first and a second for Jonathan Taylor during draft season in May. Okay, I'll pay that if I'm contending and I got to throw in a second, but I want to pay a first right now for Jonathan Taylor, not much more. So anyway, it got me thinking, like, was that dude gonna take Cam Ward at the 101? Like, because he even mentioned when we were chatting, like, Genty's on. I said something, Genty's just so juicy, and he was like, yeah, but Ward fits what I need more, and something. So I was like, man, could I have? That's where you got to read into. You got to listen to what your league mates are saying to you, okay? Because I could have potentially done that trade and then flipped Jonathan Taylor with something else to go back and get the 102 where Genty would have been sitting there. I don't know. It's all hypothetical. Doesn't matter. I got Genty. I'm good with it. All right, so that's how it ended up happening, and Trav Bieski got the 102 pick and added to his quarterback stable. If you take a look here, he is looking at his stable right now, just has Lamar Jackson along with Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and Carson Wentz. So that's why he wanted Cam Ward so bad. I can totally understand and see that. But anyway, we go on to pick number 3, and so Omarion Hampton was sitting there, and Steve S. was more than happy to jump on Omarion Hampton. Steve was looking for running backs heading into this draft. He only had, let me bring his team up down there, which is him right here. So Steve came into the draft with the 103, 108, 201, 303, and 403. And his running back stable was putrid. But that's how he built it. He didn't build to contend year one. And that's totally understandable. But, I mean, he had nothing. Like, we're talking Antonio Gibson as his best running back. Now, receivers-wise, he's okay. He's got Marv, Ayuk, Amon-Ra. So Marv, Amon-Ra, Puka is his main 3 pieces. And then you could throw in, Brandon Ayuk. And then at tight end, he's got Kincaid, Gesicki, Chig, some bodies, right? But now you're looking at it, he grabs Omarion Hampton there. Then to add to his quarterback stable, which has Drake May and Kyler Murray already, he grabs Jackson Dart at the 108, and now he just moved up to grab R.J. Harvey at the 111. There we go. And now we can see there, Chupas just made the pick live. Matthew Golden, Green Bay Packer, wide receiver out of Texas, picked in the first round of the NFL draft to join the stable of wide receivers with the Packers. Going to play that X role while Christian Watson heals up. And so Matthew Golden to Chupis. Let's take a look at Chupis' squad and why he was excited to grab Matthew Golden at the, where is he? There he is. Matthew Golden at the 112. Chupis loading up on picks here in this draft, sitting at the 112. He also has the 203, 204, 205, so a nice run there for Chupis. Then we've got the 212 and a couple of fourth rounders. Now Chupis' squad, led by Jaden Daniels, also has C.J. Stroud at quarterback. Mason Rudolph sitting there with a possibility as a starter. Then at running backs, he's got Joe Mixon, Kenny Walker, Breece Hall. At receiver, Mike Evans, Mari Cooper. Popped up and not looking great at wide receiver, so now I can totally see why he jumped on Matthew Golden. Kittle at tight end. So not a bad looking squad with Daniels and Stroud leading the way. He's fine at running back there with Mixon and KW3. So yeah, along with Breece Hall. So 3 good running backs, and now he's added to his wide receiver room to hopefully bolster that. I bet he's been studying up those wide receivers for picks 203, 04, and 05 there. He's hoping to see some wide receivers available there as well. All right, now we are back at the top of the board at the 201, but this pick was also traded, and so it'll be Let's Go Brandon. And Let's Go Brandon here. Let's see who he's going to be looking at. Let me look at his squad. So he's sitting on so he acquired an extra third by moving back 2 picks. I think it was a future third. But he moved back 2 picks, so he didn't really mind not getting RJ Harvey or Golden. He was fine staying within the tier. I think it's a similar tier of players. He's probably looking at either of the tight ends. He could go, trying to think here, possibly Trey Harris, maybe Scadaboo. I don't know. This is kind of where you're getting near the end of the upper echelon players, and so there's 2 tight ends sitting there. I'm guessing he's probably going to go one of those guys that route. Let's see his squad. He's sitting on Dak, who got awesome news today with the George Pickens deal to Dallas. That is a deal. I did a short on it earlier this morning. Obviously, Pickens wanted out of Pittsburgh, especially with DK Metcalf coming to town. It was hard to see those two coexisting, so not a shocker to me at all that he got traded. And this is like the perfect fit. Like, you've got CeeDee Lamb operating in the slot, underneath, in the middle. I retweeted a tweet from Ray G showing the target share distribution, where the targets went between CeeDee Lamb last year and then where George Pickens went. And CeeDees were all underneath the majority of his targets. And then you could see how Pickens just worked the sidelines. And so it's just an awesome fit for him. Great fit for Dak. I mean, Dak's primed for a great year as long as his line can hold up and give him some time to heave those bombs to Pickens down the sidelines. CeeDee won't lose any targets, so CeeDee gets a benefit of maybe some extra coverage having to go over to help on Pickens, but it's kind of doubtful. So Pickens is going to have one-on-one coverage a lot with this trade going down. And so you got Dak Prescott and Trevor Lawrence, who obviously got a boost with Travis Hunter getting drafted to the Jaguars. So you've got those two, then Brock Purdy as well. So a solid, very solid quarterback room there for Bestball. Obviously, he doesn't have to debate who to start there weekly. Now, if you move down on the team there, Travis Etienne, kind of Brian Robinson, and Jalen Warren, along with Jordan Mason and Tank Bigsby, along with Tajay Spears and Zach Charbonnet. Interesting with Zach Charbonnet, we've heard rumors of KW3 getting traded possibly, that they're shopping him. So we'll see there. But a lot of middling running backs for Let's Go Brandon. Then in the wide receiver room, Xavier Worthy, Adam Thielen, Chris Godwin, CeeDee. So he's got the stack in Dallas, which is looking great, along with Nico Collins and George Pickens. Oh man, this guy just hit it big today. He's got to be doing jumping jacks, doing cartwheels. He's got Pickens, CeeDee, and Dak in a best ball format. Oh man, Let's Go Brandon, having a big off season so far. So his tight end room, he's sitting on Ben Sinnott, Theo Johnson, Dalton Schultz, Dallas Goedert, and Noah Gray. So kind of underwhelming, but in best ball, if you take all 5 of them, that's not incredibly terrible. I mean, Dalton Schultz kind of took a hit with the 2 Iowa State wide receivers getting drafted to the Texans. It's going to maybe limit his target share, but I mean, he's got Nico and... No, he doesn't have Stroud. Sorry, that was the previous guy I was talking about. But Nico and CeeDee up top on his wide receiver room, along with Godwin and Pittman. I mean, it's a pretty solid wide receiver room there. Wan'Dale Robinson, sneaky still. So, liking that squad there by Let's Go Brandon. Could use a little juice in the running back room, but all in all, it's really not that bad. I mean, between Robinson and Spears, Charbonnet, and Etienne, you can piece together decent weeks there, and obviously he's getting his points out of his quarterbacks and wide receivers. So we'll see where Let's Go Brandon decides to go here. I'm going to bet on a tight end, though. And then he's got another pick in this second round at the 209. All right. So let's go back here. So after Hampton went to Steve, then it was Trav Bieski up again. This time he went running back, going with Quinshon Judkins. And if we go over here, we look at Trav Bieski's board. So he's got no picks now until the 312. Then he's got the 312, 401, 402. So a 3-pick run there. And then the 409 and 412 for Trav. So his squad, again, got help in the quarterback room by adding Cam Ward. At running back, he adds Quinshon Judkins to, what does he got here? Josh Jacobs and Swift and Pacheco. Then at wide receiver, he has, let's see here, Zay Flowers, Addison, and Jamison Williams, 3 nice best ball wide receivers. Alec Pierce had his weeks last year. De'Ami Brown had a few weeks last year. So Nick Westbrook-Akeen was actually decent last year. Mac Hollins came on at the end. Damian Robinson. I mean, so, he pieced together a decent wide receiver room. It doesn't look all that scary. Definitely in a lineup league it wouldn't be, but in best ball, he pieced together a decent one. And then a tight end, he's got Mark Andrews, Brendan Strange, and Evan Ingram. So very solid tight end room there for Trav. So this best ball league, we start 12 weekly. Of course, the best 12 scorers. It's super flex. Start, I believe it's 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a tight end, and then 4 flex. So, yeah, Trav had a solid playoff run last season. Okay, so after Trav took Quinshon at the 104, we had Richard Brand going here. Now, this is the guy who I gave Saquon to for the 101. He grabbed Tet McMillan at the 105 to add to his wide receiver room. Now, here is his squad over here. Quarterback, he's, Joe Flacco might start, and Fields is going to start. So, along with Jordan Love, not looking terrible. Obviously, Kirk Cousins, not exactly what he was hoping for. Then at running back, he's got, of course, Saquon. Ramondre kind of took a hit, so he's going to need some running back help. But he grabbed Tet to add to his wide receivers, where he's just got, Devontae, Khalil Shakir, Parker Washington, Josh Downs, and then at tight end, he's sitting on Bowers. Nice. He is loaded at tight end. Whew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tight ends. Oh my gosh. Wow. Otten, Ertz, Bowers, and JT Sanders, and then some bodies. Maybe he's going to replace some of them. We'll see what Richard Brand comes up with. Next pick he's slotted for is the 211 and 310. Lots of trading going on in this league. I mean, not very many picks to be taken by their original owners. First round, we only have 2, and one of those was next up here with the DeLorean. The DeLorean sat out much of the trading, and so he grabbed Travion Henderson with his original pick. DeLorean, obviously Bears fan. He's got Caleb Williams, Mahomes, and Penix, and Darnold, so sitting on 4 starting quarterbacks. Then at running back, he's got Bucky, James Conner, Javonte Williams, James Cook. All right. And then he added Travion Henderson to that mix. So solid running backs there for the DeLorean. At wide receiver, let's see what he's got here. Rome to team up with Caleb. A.D. Mitchell, Coker, Sutton. There's Drake London. Drake London is stacked with Penix. And JSN stacked with Sam Darnold now. So wide receiver room, not too bad. JSN, Drake London, Sutton, Adunze. That's not terrible. Tight end, what has he got pieced together here? Kyle Pitts, Higbee, kind of looking ugly there, aside from Pitts, who, is, of course, Kyle Pitts, but he's got him teamed up on a stack, so he's got the double stack with Penix, having London and Pitts. All right, next up, Brady Flash. And Brady Flash did an interesting trade earlier today. Now, I don't know that I loved it. And this one was with For the Brand, second place finisher in this league last season. Brandon pulled off a good deal, I think, for him. Because Brandon was able to move up to the, what was it? The 107. No, that was, never mind. That was Fossboss. Fossboss gave up his 27 first, Najee Harris, and like a 3rd round pick, I want to say. I can't remember which one. The 302. So 302 Najee Harris and a 27 first for the 107, which was Travis Hunter sitting on the board. Couldn't believe Brady Flash didn't just take Travis Hunter. Ugh. Disappointed in you, Brady. But Brady adds the 27 first to his war coffin, and still got the pick at the 110, which was Caleb Johnson. Solid pick there. And now he's got a bunch of picks left. He's still got the 202, 302, 307, 309, and 407. And his squad is hurting at quarterback with just Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson and Hendon Hooker. So it'll be interesting to see what Brady tries to do at quarterback there. Running backs, so he added Caleb Johnson, Miles Sanders, Najee, Shad White, Jameer Gibbs. There we go. Okay, so he's got Gibbs and Caleb Johnson now, along with Najee. So that's all right. Rashee Rice, Neighbors, Juwan Jennings, Devonta Smith, Christian Watson, Marvin Mims, Tank Dell injured, tight ends Ferguson Likely and Tucker Kraft. So tight end definitely looking good. Wide receivers not too bad either with Neighbors and Rashee Rice. Of course, we don't know what's going to go on with Rashee Rice, but I don't hate it. And he's got Devonta Smith too, so not too bad for Brady. But quarterback is where he needs some help. That's for sure. All right, we went through. Let's go Brandon's team. Mojo is one guy who has no picks until the 410. Mojo took third place last year, but he had to pay up by giving away a lot of picks. Now, Mojo didn't really, I mean, with what he's traded for, he's sitting on Bo Nix, Geno, Baker, and Josh Allen at quarterback. So he's more than set in the quarterback room. Then at running back, Tyron Tracy, Kamara, Montgomery. So a little underwhelming, but we'll see if Kamara can pull off another RB1 season. Same with Montgomery. He'll be all right. And then at wide receiver, let's see, Tyreek, who's coming off, obviously, his bad season. DK, A.J. Brown, T. Higgins, McLaurin, Garrett Wilson. Loaded up at wide receiver for sure. So you got Garrett Wilson, Higgins, McLaurin, A.J. Brown, DK, and Tyreek. Yeah, that's like 6 solid wide receivers. Nice wide receiver room for Mojo. And then at tight end, it's just a mixture of some bodies with Trey McBride. So, yeah, looking solid there, Mojo. I can see why it really didn't matter to him to get back into this action. I mean, his quarterbacks are plenty young and ready to go here. Nix, Geno, aside from Josh Allen and Baker, that's strong. All right. And then we've got, for the Brandon, who, yes, traded away the 102 to get JT. Now he's going to sit out this draft until the end of the third, where he picks at the 311 and 411. Let's take a little gander here. So Brandon could have taken Cam Ward, maybe. He's sitting on Goff and Stafford only at quarterback. Now at running back, McCaffrey, Aaron Jones, and JT. Then at receiver, Jaden Reed, McConkey, we got in the trade. Debo, and there's Jefferson. Jefferson and Olave, and then Laporta, Kelsey, Henry. Decent tight ends there. So, I mean, for the brand, still looking solid. Quarterbacks need to get addressed sooner than later, but he can still get by maybe for a little while with Goff and Stafford. Plenty of time yet, though. Still, 4 months away here from opening weekend, so we'll see what ends up happening in this league trade-wise. There's plenty of possibilities. As you can see, these guys love to trade, and we love that in the Birdhouse. It's great to see all this action. So, guys, if you got any questions when you watch this, go ahead and throw them down in the comments. Tell me how stupid I am for just hanging on to Genty at the 101. Tell me what you would have done if you would have taken it. Again, the option I had was Jonathan Taylor, Jordan Addison, and a 27 first from the champ. So you let me know what you think. I, for one, and this is personally, I don't love Jonathan Taylor. I don't see him he'd have to have a really awesome season for him to move up in dynasty value from the RB10 right now where he sits. He's 26 years old, next year 27. You know, it's just, I don't think he's a bad player at all. I just don't, with all the youth funneled in here this season, I don't see him moving up. Now it's possible. I mean, look at Saquon, what he did last year. I didn't want to bet on that. I wanted Genty going into the draft, and I came out of the draft with Genty. And so I'm going to be happy pretty much no matter what ends up going on here the rest of the way. But yeah, the Birdman here, I'm sitting there just hanging out at the 210 waiting, and then I got the 304 and 305. I don't know if I like having the 304, 305. That's a little pocket there near the end of sort of a tier, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, after the middle of the second, it kind of just becomes shoot your shot on your guy. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll trade out and just pick up future picks. Who knows? We'll see. Whatever the mood strikes. It is best ball, so these second, third, even fourth rounders do matter a little more than in a lineup league because you're looking for depth there, and so plenty of opportunity, especially in this year's class. But again, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe so you get all the great content coming at you. Tomorrow night, we're going to have Wyatt Birdalone from Roto Underworld, as well as Dustin Royer from DD Fantasy, joining in on the Birdhouse for a rookie mock draft. Get you guys all set up for the rest of your rookie drafts this May. Big fun time here in the Birdhouse. And so glad that there we go. Glad you were able to join us tonight for the show and this live draft. We'll give you updates as it moves along further. Sorry we didn't have many more picks. It is, again, the Birdhouse after dark here, so it's understandable. But yes, thank you all for joining, and sleep well. Tomorrow's a nice, fun, new day. And remember, never stop working.